Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to car reviews. So I'm finally going to get them back up and running, and this time it's going to actually be a bit of a mini series where I'm going to go through all the Nissan Skyline models and give them a proper good review. So I actually reviewed the Camry when it was first released, so we will be skipping that car. I'll link the original video there, but we are going to start off right at the beginning with the Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR, the KPG C10 model. So this model here is currently not in the legendary dealership, but that's where you will find it for just around the 100,000 credit mark. Very cheap, and in terms of its performance, it's nothing really to write home about. It's around about just under the 400 pp mark when you get this as bog standard. And if you didn't know, or you've never been to one of these before, in terms of car reviews, essentially I have to keep the car as it is from the factory, or should I say legendary dealer. Basically no upgrades, no tuning, one hot lap around the Nordschleife. Slight mistakes will be kept in, however if I have a major off or a big crash, then obviously I'll restart the lap to give the car a fair shot. After that, if we can, mostly with the road cars you can, we will obviously take it to be fully modified, so every upgrade to give it the most horsepower possible, racing tyres and such to give it the most grip possible, and then we'll head out to the high speed ring to basically give it a modified lap, where basically we'll see where it ranks on that hot lap leaderboard, as well as obviously the bog standard hot lap leaderboard, which is the one here for the Nordschleife. So what can I say about this car that's probably, not already been said by everybody that's ever seen one? Let's start with its looks. So the boxy design and the aggressive looking headlights and rear tail lights, I feel like everybody kind of loves the way this thing looks, and well, I can't disagree. I genuinely fully agree. It's a stunning looking machine. In fact, it's got a very distinct look that even when it's modified kind of just makes it look absolutely awesome. A proper classic box look to it. However, unlike maybe some of these same cars around the same era from America and such, which are, very big, very long, this little thing looks very compact in comparison. It really doesn't look or feel that big within the game. So it's almost like the nimble little Japanese muscle car that could. And that's pretty much what I said about the Camry. While the Camry does feel like it has a much bigger profile on the track, it definitely just feels like a mini Japanese muscle car. Whilst they're not putting out the most ridiculous acceleration or horsepower figures, they're definitely very capable cars. In fact, one thing I did find quite funny is that this Skyline 2000 GTR was actually faster in a straight line than the Dodge Challenger, which I previously reviewed around about 6 months ago. So yeah, that was quite a surprising find. And another thing that goes in its favour, well, although the acceleration is nothing mind-blowing, the way this thing handles itself through the corners is actually very impressive. One thing I did notice about the car is the skinny little tyres on it. I've definitely thought this thing would be sliding all over the place, or just wouldn't be that capable around the track. Not standard, at least anyway, and I was pleasantly wrong. You can really throw this car around and it will not, absolutely throw you into the barrier. Whilst it does slightly break traction, it's never anything too much to the point where, you feel like this is definitely going to be a big off. It's very controllable, very drivable, and I'd actually say for a classic car, very much user friendly. I think anyone could realistically jump into this car and put some decent lap times in and really have a pleasure driving it, and that's definitely where this car excels. It's just the driving pleasure. No, it's not fast by modern standards. No, it doesn't absolutely accelerate and blow your absolute face off, and no, it's not necessarily the most ridiculously, overpowered thing through the corners either. But overall, it's just a pleasant little sporty car to drive with that distinct classic boxy look. So overall, from standard, I would honestly have to say this has been an absolute joy of a car to drive. So if you maybe have one that you don't want to touch, but you feel like maybe I want to go and drive this thing, then yeah, as a standard, car without any modifications or anything like that, you could probably go and throw this around a few corners and have a lot of fun doing so. So let's have a look where it comes on our Nordschleifer Hot Lap leaderboard. It falls in the 400 pp category. This is along with the Mazda Roadster and the Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR, that being the Ken-Marie, the KPG C110 from 1973. And it's around about 3.5 to 4 seconds slower than the Ken-Marie counterpart. Not too shabby if you ask me, for a car that is essentially putting out next to no horsepower but feels an absolute pleasure to drive. So what is the next best thing to do when you're done with driving the standard version? And in my opinion, this is where this car really shines. Turn it into a classic touring car race car. So that's what I did. I threw absolutely every upgrade possible on it, got it to its maximum amount of horsepower without obviously any special parts or anything like that, and I feel like this car became a whole different beast. So here we are, we're hitting up the high speed ring for our modified lap time leaderboard, and one thing that really did surprise me is not only does it keep the nimbleness and the ability to absolutely throw it through the corners, it really does hit a surprisingly good top speed. And in fact, if you remember with the Ken-Marie, I was really struggling to keep that car under grips. Obviously I cannot, edit the tune or anything like that for these cars, but from just a performance point, this was a much more drivable car. It felt a lot better than the Ken-Marie which I previously reviewed. As soon as I got to this track, the whole car with its upgrades combined just felt massively at home. It was easily drivable, it was very quickly hitting around about 175 miles an hour at the end of the straights and managing to maintain its speed through the corners. It felt like the ultimate classic touring car, and the car absolutely shone. Whilst it probably isn't realistically the fastest thing going, it definitely is one of the most joyous ones to drive that I've ever really took around. So we're absolutely going to fly through the final corner. It's the big banked left-hander. It absolutely just ate this corner up, no problems at all, and then it's going to accelerate itself all the way down towards the finish line before finishing up our modified hot lap. So let's see where this car actually ranks, and I feel quite surprised, to be honest. So it's currently 18th. It's actually faster than a 911 Carrera RS, the 993 model from 1995, and the Mazda Roadster NRA. It's currently the fastest of the cars, sitting within the 1 minute 15, so I'm very, very surprised with this car. In fact, it was even much more quicker than the Ken-Marie, which was a little bit further down the table. So overall, this is an absolutely fantastic car, even when modified. So there we have it. That is my first of the Skyline reviews. Obviously, naturally, the Ken-Marie Skyline would have been up next, but I had reviewed that one as soon as it was released in its update. I cannot quite remember which update that came with, but that one is done. So we'll be moving on to, I believe, the R32 GTR next. So yeah, it's about to get even more exciting. So definitely you should buy this car as soon as you can. Get those modifications on and absolutely go and have a blast, because I've loved my time with this car. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn those notifications on so you don't miss an upload from me. I upload motorsport and GT7 content each and every day. Thank you to my sponsors, the Controller People and Poggers. They'll be down in the description, along with my Twitter, my Discord, and my donation link if you do want to kindly donate to the channel. Thank you so much for your support. Have a great day. Peace.